What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you can get notified immediately as soon as we drop any new material on this channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we had some very good action the weekend just gone. We had Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez. This was a very significant fight for both guys, for both of their countries. Josh Taylor doing it for Scotland, looking to become undisputed. And of course, Jose Ramirez doing this for Mexico, looking to be, I think, the first Mexican to hold all four belts simultaneously, to become undisputed, at least in this particular era, in the four belt era. And of course, Josh Taylor looking to do it for Scotland to become the first Brit since Lennox Lewis back in 1999 to hold all the belts. So this had a lot of significance to it. I think there's only about 6 fighters who have been undisputed in this four belt era, holding all the belts. So yeah, this was a fight for a lot of honor. A lot was on the line, you know, all the belts, and this is the type of fight that we as fans really want to see, and this is a fight that really shows the sort of the best fighting the best, and this is what we as fans wanted to see. So it's a shame that no British network or television channel picked up this fight. No BT, no Sky. You know, that was a shame, but anyway, was a very good fight. And we saw Josh Taylor. I see he's definitely been learning a few of Mayweather's tricks, because there were times in this fight where he would throw punches and fall in, hold, and then step away, make it all have to reset, land clean punches, and then sort of get in the man's way. And yeah, Josh Taylor used a good boxing brain in this fight. Let's get to it. So the first round opens up. Josh Taylor does a good, uses his right hand very well as a southpaw. And, you know, southpaws, you see them, amateurs and pros, always using that right hand. And he would probe out there with the right hand to kind of set Ramirez up. That right hand was a good weapon he used in the first round. And he showed he mixed it up. Sometimes he was just pawing with the jab, just putting it out there, putting it in there in Ramirez's face, just to stop him working and just to set up the straight left or the left uppercut. So Josh Taylor was good in the first round, good with his solid jab, and even that pawing, he used that right hand very well. He showed good sort of speed in the first round, sharp jab, sharp straight punches. And he was able to do something that's very important in boxing, keep your opponent at bay. And he kept Ramirez at bay for the first round for the most part, really controlled the range and controlled the distance well behind his right hand and the right jab. Ramirez does have a little breakthrough in the round, lands a good left hand to the body. I think it was a left hook to Taylor's body. You could see that physically made Taylor think, it made him flinch a little bit. But then Taylor, as is his character, he responds and lands shots of his own. So he closes the first round well. I had that first round to Taylor. Second round was definitely a bit closer. I thought Taylor did do some good work on the outside, but I'd say Ramirez definitely came on strong in the second round, especially the second half of the second round. He really came on strong. He used intelligence in there, as I was saying in the pre-fight sort of prediction blog about him coming in behind the jab and using the jab to set things up, bobbing and weaving. He definitely used the jab very well in the second round and was able to get his own way with Taylor, especially towards the second half of the round. And it was a round of two halves was the second. You know, Taylor looked better early on in the fight. He was able to control the range and stuff and control the fight really, but then second half of the round Ramirez looked better, and I think Ramirez kind of closed the second round a bit better. He looks good, used a good jab, but kind of a short jab on the front foot, used a jab, worked his way, and then he kind of looked Like he finished the round a little bit better than Taylor did. He had his own way a bit there. And you know, again, third round was another round that was quite decent, quite good for Ramirez. I'd say this might have been his best round. Ramirez is, as what he done in the third is he really imposed himself on Taylor. He really got in there, ripped some combinations together, you know, really let his hands go in the third. And you know, he mixed it up as well. He done what he needed to do, mixed it up, head shots, body shots, nice little tight hooks, and you know, good little inside work from Ramirez in the third round. I think that was definitely a round that went to him. I'd say third round he really had his own way with Josh Taylor, which is, of course, from Taylor's perspective, that's the last thing you want, is a guy that comes forward and is marauding you and, you know, attacking. And yeah, for me, Ramirez definitely won the round. He had his own way. I think, in my opinion, he hurt Taylor in the third round. You could see Taylor looked physically hurt and troubled by some of those shots. Not to the point where he was ready to go out or get knocked out or get knocked down, but you could see the impact of the shots, you know, in that third round. And also you could see he was hurt by the fact that he didn't, he kind of used his head, Taylor. He took loads of shots in that round, but he didn't respond straight away. He kind of waited, and it's almost like he sort of allowed Ramirez, you know, he sort of fought with his head and just used his common sense and sort of stayed on the defensive, stayed on the back foot at the end of the third, and just that was a clear Ramirez round. He really done well, really had his own way. Taylor got hurt there, and the fourth round comes along. Fourth round for me was definitely a better round for Taylor, but at the same time, like the second round, similar to that, you had Taylor doing very well throughout most of the round, but I would say that Ramirez did some very good work towards the end of the round, and it was close. It was back and forth in the fourth round, but with Taylor starting better, and then Ramirez sort of he came on strong, and then Taylor, they both land simultaneous hooks. Taylor landed one to the body, and just before that, Ramirez landed one to the head. Taylor's shot looked like it sort of hurt Ramirez to the body as he hit him while he was throwing. So that was an interesting little exchange there. But I think, from what I recall, I sort of scored the fourth to, I think Taylor got that for me, from what I recall of it. You know, and then fifth round comes around. Taylor gets cut, unfortunately, in the fifth round. It's one of those cuts around the eye area. I think it was his right eye or something like that. I can't recall exactly, but he gets a cut over one of his eyes. Fortunately, it's a cut where the blood trickles around, you know, around this sort of area. It doesn't go into the eye, so it doesn't affect him too badly. But even in spite of that cut, Taylor boxed very well in the fifth round. He was controlling the range again with that right hand, just sticking it out like a sort of rangefinder, and keeping Ramirez sort of away, not allowing him to do his best work. He, you know, controlled the range well, as usual, with the right hand lead, mixing it up as a jab and also just as a rangefinder. Done that very well. And then comes the sixth round, and 10 seconds into the sixth round, Taylor has a breakthrough, because it looked like before that Ramirez was doing well. He was coming on quite well, but Taylor does a brilliant knockdown. I think it was a left hand, like 10 seconds into round 6, and this was a brilliant breakthrough. It gave him a 2-point round there. Ramirez, though, to his credit, although he gets knocked down, he doesn't look too badly hurt. He just looks a bit surprised. Obviously, he was hurt, but he's got a very good chin, has Ramirez. We definitely saw that in his fight. Taylor, although he put Ramirez down, he didn't go for the finish. Instead of going for the finish, he sort of stood back, held back with a sort of high guard, and you could see Taylor was just sort of waiting for a big shot. He was just waiting to catch Ramirez coming in again, counting on sort of trying to get Ramirez to be aggressive, to commit, and then he was planning to land a big shot. That big shot didn't come in that round, so it ended up with Taylor just going back to his boxing, back on the jab, back to his sort of slick southpaw work, and definitely clearly took that sixth. And he closed the sixth round very well with some, good combination punching. Just closed it, bum, 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 nice little combination to seal the deal on the sixth round. The seventh round was close while it lasted. Ramirez steamed into Taylor, really went for him, was giving him two-fisted attack, bam, 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 bam. Really was trying to put it on Taylor in the seventh round. It was close at certain points, but then Taylor has yet another breakthrough. Good left hand again. I think it was left uppercut. Puts Ramirez down again with that uppercut, and definitely takes the round for me. Although it was close at certain points, with that knockdown and with Taylor coming on stronger, Taylor definitely wins that round for me. The eighth round was another round for Taylor, at least in my book or my sort of card. Taylor used again good combination punching. He again was able to control Ramirez, to control him and keep him at bay, keep him at the end of the shot. So Taylor's game plan was definitely working better for him in the eighth round. Ramirez had a very sort of quiet round in the eighth, of course, because obviously this is the second time he'd been knocked down, was in the seventh, so he had a quieter round. He sort of went into defensive mode, went into a bit of survival mode in the eighth round, and he didn't do enough work there really to have an argument for that round, at least not in my book, as he didn't do enough. Round 9 comes around, Taylor sort of outboxes Ramirez in the ninth, landing clean and landing often, I had him sort of, Ramirez had his successes there, but I thought Taylor definitely done better with the cleaner and better work in the ninth round. For me, leading into the championship rounds, I felt Taylor was ahead. Taylor must have been in a handy lead for me going into the 10th, 11th, and 12th. I thought Taylor had the 10th was kind of a swing round, either way. Maybe you could give that to Taylor. It's a bit of a swing one. But the 11th round was an exceptional round for Ramirez. Ramirez was able to put it on Taylor again, put loads of pressure on him. He was able to really go to work. And really, as I said before, he really, in the 11th round, he really imposed himself on Josh Taylor. You could see his game plan was really working. Pressure. Clear round for Ramirez. The 12th round was a relatively close one. Ramirez was trying to go after Josh Taylor, but Josh Taylor was quite successful using his right hand, using that weapon there, and he was able to sort of, although Ramirez was trying to come in, he was able to use his legs, use his movement, and sort of keep Ramirez at bay, keep him from doing anything too effective. Taylor in the 12th, he was really sort of just coasting in the 12th round. He landed a few shots here and there. It was, I suppose, in terms of punches landed, it was quite a close round, but Taylor was sort of, for the most part, having his own way with his movement, and Ramirez wasn't really able to cut him off. He was stalking him, he was following him around, but he wasn't really able to sort of cut the ring off and get Taylor into any corners where he could work away. It was, Taylor was the man sort of having his own way there. And then, that was the story of the fight really for me. I think I had Taylor in a lead going into the championship round, so going into sort of 10, 11, 12, because of the two knockdowns, and I had Taylor definitely in a handy lead going into it. The scorecards got read out. All three judges had it the same, 114, 112 to Taylor. For me, I felt like it was wider than that. I thought, Taylor won it by, at least 7-5, 8-4, something like that. I think more 7-5 for me. And then when you include the two knockdowns, it's, on the cards it should have looked like maybe by 4 points, 5 points, whatever. But anyway, it is what it is. Overall, the fight was good. It was entertaining. You know, and you know, Taylor was just the better man on the night for me. As I say, scorecards were too close for me. I thought Taylor done it by a wider margin than that. But at the end of the day, the right man won. And Teddy Atlas might have had a point when he said he thought Ramirez was going to win by controversial decision, because had Taylor not knocked him down twice, he would have lost the fight. So yeah, that's something to think about. But anyway, congrats to Josh Taylor. Massive achievement for Scotland and everything. Undisputed champion. What he does next is up to him. Could be Crawford at 147, or you know, who knows. But anyway, all the best to Josh Taylor. Congratulations to him. This is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next one.